Lockdown in Cell Block Large Blast Podcast. I'm your host, Stoney, and I'm joined, as always, by Matt
I am Iron Man.
and Welshie.
You're locked in here with me.
And we're here today to talk about all things Warhammer. And first, we like to get things kicked off with a little something we call Hobbies Goings On, where we have a look at the goings on, what's been happening in the host hobbies live. So, Matt, you've arrived, you've come in strong, you've come in jolly. Have you been excited about Warhammers?
I have actually normal kind of update for me, painting a bit, doing that my own thing. Except today, I have spent the day playing Warhammer.
What?
Yep.
Holy moly.
First time for a long time. Except it wasn't fantasy and it wasn't 40k. It was epic. I had a game of epic. What's the epic called now? Legionnaires or whatever.
New one. Legion
Yeah.
Titanicus.
Yeah.
Or well, it was Legions. It's called it's called Legion. So it's all of the infantry and the armored vehicles and stuff. It was really good. There's some aspects that are very familiar, but there's some aspects that are very familiar to the historical 8mm wargaming systems that I've played before. So
all right, big question. The elephant in the room, Matt. How many little tiny tanks did you get to field? And was it as many as you have in big scale?
It was way more.
Oh, blimey. You see, already I can see.
Honestly, the models are amazing and the scale, just, I don't know what it is, but they just look so good on a board. And we had like the buildings. We played in the Dice Saloon. First time played in there for ages, our local gaming hobby place. So it was my mate Neil, who I play with.
The one who plays, you've played like historical games with in
but
the past. Okay.
but he's done a few. So he started collecting Epic on like eBay stuff.
Yeah.
And he had been to a couple of intro games at the Dice Saloon, and he contacted the guy that runs them, Miles, who it turns out the LBP follow on Instagram. And he basically, we just said, we'll buy you some drinks. Can you tell us how to play? You'd be like the referee or be in control of the game, and we'll play each other and you tell us what to do. And he was up for that. And he was good fun. And I feel like I've learned the basics of the game, and it was really good. And it's a you go, I go game system. So you move, then your opponent moves a unit.
Yeah.
And you take that in turns. And there's various ways to.
So you can't get shot off the board turn one,
Yeah.
basically.
And exactly that. And it's the same with the shooting. So you take it in turns like that with the shooting phase. And it was
I
it was really good.
You went in full military dress to this event. You
I
had
did.
someone bugle you in.
It wasn't an armored company, it was an armored regiment. So we used every type of model other than the Titan. So we had knights.
Did you have knights on there then? Yeah.
We had knights. We had aeroplanes. We had lots of Lehman Russ tanks, Bane blades, super heavy tanks, infantry.
So is it like 30k Dweevery? So it's you're
Yeah.
only Imperial. It's Imperial heretics versus Imperial good
Yeah.
guys. You can't
Yeah.
be like
Although
Eldar or something.
It's 30k, so it's set at the same time as Titanicus. It's essentially the same. It's the same game, but there's just more in-depth rules, different rules than Titanicus.
Oh, shit! So this is a different game. So there's two epic scale games out for
There's three because
there's three.
Yeah, fuck. Because there's so right now,
and they're talking about bringing back epic as well. What's going on with this like big scale?
So right now there is you can play Titanicus, which is just Titans. So it's set. You've got so much complexity with Titan Legions that you can play a game with Titan Legions. But then there's the thing we played, Legions, which is classic epic.
But you can play Titans in that as can't you?
You can play Titans in that.
Yeah.
But then there's also, it's the same scale as Aeronautical Imperialis. But the thing, so you can play, so that's the game with the fighter planes, but you can play planes in Legions.
Oh my
But
god! It's just
Imperial
rules on rules on
Imperial
rules. It's the
Nauticalis, or
man.
whatever
You
it's
know how
called,
we were talking
is set
about.
in 40k. But you can, yeah.
We were
But
talking in the last episode about how like the Horus Heresy players are getting pissed off with the new, dumbing down of the rules. They need to jump on this epic scale by the
oh
sounds of
mate,
it.
Yeah,
it
There's like
was
four or
so.
five different rule sets happening.
7
Yeah.
units not enough for you? Well, come play. All
There
7 of
was,
those units on one base.
I think I was pleasantly surprised, genuinely. Like, it was just really fun. There was still like armor. There wasn't really, well, the armor values must have gone into it that I didn't really see because he was doing, Miles, the guy doing the game system, was doing the maths. But you had to roll to hit, and then you didn't have to roll to wound. So it was just roll to hit, and then you roll to save. And if you don't save, you're dead. But it doesn't matter because you've got like 20 other
Yeah,
Lima
it's a
Russ
micro
tanks.
machine in your
Yeah.
army of micro
Yeah.
machines. Yeah.
And the scale was perfect. The models, we were fighting over an Imperial city. It was just really good. It was really fun.
Oh, sounds cool.
Yeah. So
You've had a good old time. Did you win? Were you crowned victorious over the battlefield?
no, I think in the end we just called it a draw. We were playing over 2 objectives. It was a basic game. It was just it was good.
So Welshie, have you been up to much in your hobbies goings on?
Yeah, I've been doing loads of painting. I put out that video on our YouTube of doing a Raven Guard inspired by that new character I'm sure we'll talk about in a minute. Just wanted to paint a Raven Guard because I haven't done that for a while. But I've also played game. I went to the Bad Moon Cafe in London on the weekend, which I've not been to before, which is like London's version of the Dice Saloon, or one of them, and played a
By London
game of
Bridge.
Kill Team. Yeah, by London Bridge Station.
Yeah.
Played a game of Kill Team against my mate Jim, which is really good. Nail biting game. Nice. You can fully complete the game in your 3-hour slot. Vespids versus Inquisition, and there's only 3 points in it at the end. And again, that's back and forth, so you don't get bored. One model at a time.
So I know you've got a lot of kill teams, and when I briefly popped into yours the other day, you were playing your Vespid kill team as well. Is the Vespids your guys? Are they your favorite kill team currently?
Yeah, I've only played kill team with 3 different kill teams. I've played with Emperor's Children, I've played with Vespids, and I've played with Kroot. Vespids are just the ones I've played with the most. So going up to London, I wanted to make sure I could actually get a game done. So I actually know their rules. Whereas if I'd gone with something else, I would have had to look them up as I go.
It's like they're like double. It's like double heresy. It's a Xenos kill team under the control overall of a Xenos power.
Yeah,
it's like double Xenos.
That's right.
But does that cancel it out?
Inquisition to try and kill, and it was good. It is a really good game, and actually, the way that we play it, we sack off a load of the extra rules. Like we don't do equipment, we don't do one of the 3 mission types. We just play over objectives. But I did bump into friend of the show James Otero at the Bad Moon Cafe. I had a chat with him.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah, he was running.
He was there.
He was there. He was running one of his paint school sessions. It was a nice environment in there, actually. Very, very friendly cafe. So would recommend Bad Moon Cafe if you want a game in London. And what about you, Stone?
Have
you been modelling?
Kind of quite a lot. Yeah, I've been a bit inspired to do some stuff. I revisited a bunch of the old Geostealer Cult stuff I did because it was all so nearly ready to go. But then
the limo.
Looked at it, and then
the mythical limo.
But I got to a stage where it was all kind of ready to go, and then I was like, I don't like it, and I stopped and I stopped doing anything with it. But I think I've kind of talked about this before, about this idea of kind of working in a vacuum sometimes, where you're just working on your own, making stuff or whatever, as like a hobbyist. I'm sure lots of hobbyists find this as well. And you hit a stage with a project where you're kind of some points rushing yourself through. So you're maybe doing stuff you're like, right, I want to get this finished by this time. And then you rush something through, and then you look at it and you're like, I probably could have done these things better, and you put it down or whatever. But I've had like a really long stage of putting down this and not doing anything with it. These Geostealer cults that I've been doing, Geostealer Corp, should I say, legally distinct, legally different, completely different idea. Blade Trinity style, vampire-esque corporation, but it's a Geostealer. It's doesn't matter. It's legally distinct. It's all lovely. It's all good to go. So I've revisited it, and I was like, and I've been enjoying revisiting it because it's most of the hard work's already done, most of the heavy lifting's done, so it's just a case of tweaking things and changing stuff and applying ideas that I've had in the time. If you've been listening to this show for any period of time, it takes me fucking ages to do any of these, and this has been no exception. But it's taken even longer because I've left it for so long, and I'm really glad that I have, actually, because I really think that I've made them better this side of it. So I think that it is, despite being slow, I do think this has been worthwhile. I do want to try to ramp up how quickly I do stuff. Yeah, slow and steady. I do want to ramp stuff up a bit. And it is kind of like, hopefully the back end of this year will be loaded with some more LBP stuff. So we should hopefully get some more videos out, including this, and some more products to buy. The other thing, talking about products to buy, that's right, listener. My run of doing really good at 3D printing, I don't know if you listened to a couple of shows ago, means that I have printed a shitload of my Noise Boy Marines. I've done a little limited run. That's right, Large Blast Podcast listener. This is your very own chance to own a Large Blast Podcast original model Noise Boy miniature. For a mere £20, you get a squad of 5 Noise Boys miniatures with Captain. Simply email largeblastpodcast@gmail.com or Large Blast Stony on Instagram.
Finance, cutting edge technology. Accurate information is the Large Blast Podcast News. Hear every episode.
Quake in fear, off-brand cosplay Warhammer producers of rubbish, because now Games Workshop are producing their own branded rubbish. That's right, you can buy your own Space Marine helmet. What do we guys think of this? Are we going to buy this? Are we going to see this in bank robberies? What's going to happen?
I imagine loads of nerds are going to buy it and put it on their mantelpiece, much to their potential partner's shame,
to the chagrin of their wives. But that's right.
You reckon?
But let's follow back some of the threads that we've been laying in past episodes here, because we were just talking, I think, either last episode or the one before, about how Games Workshop had come heavily handed down and decided to crush the dreams of. Who was it? Some guy that was like producing all this cosplay stuff?
Yeah, it was the YouTube channel and the company, I think, called Galactic Armory, and they've been making really decent, like quite high-end cosplay for a long time for lots of different universes, mainly Star Wars and 40K, I think. Really nice cosplay costumes, and they put out a video last week, maybe the week before, saying that they had received the doomed cease and desist from GW, and everyone was basically wondering why. Well, it turns out Games Workshop realised there was a way to make money from cosplay by noticing it in other companies, and have now made their own and shut down all the other companies that were filling the void.
They've known for ages that people are doing this. It wasn't like someone was like, 2 weeks ago, hey, shit, let's make a bunch of helmets. Tell everyone to stop making helmets. This other guy has been making new Rangers and all sorts. He could have just given him a little like cease and desist a couple of months ago and said, hey, you've got 6 months to pack it in or whatever, and wind down operations and start focusing on Jabba the Hutt tales or whatever the fuck else it is you make.
Or we've noticed you've been making really high quality stuff. We know you've just like expanded your company's production operation. Instead of us going with a massive like plastic tack company, would you like to be involved in developing our cosplay arm? That's another way to do it.
They're probably both being produced at the same factory somewhere. That's the thing.
Yeah, we don't know the financial stuff behind the production could mean that they couldn't go down that route. But
they probably wouldn't have been able to hit the demand of Games Workshop advertising.
I do. I mean, I can probably appreciate where Games Workshop are coming with this, with their IP, as I think there's a part of us that all can. But I kind of feel like, as with all of this stuff, there's a better way they could have gone about this. I mean, why don't you own the IP? Why don't you, instead of making everyone sell a product, why don't you just come out there in the market with a product that's better than everyone else's, and you'll sell more of it instead of destroying the competition?
I kind of remember when we've talked about some of the Forge World things in the past, and we've had to do like research for, what's it like, Armor Forge and those places that were producing Forge World style models in the past, them having like a really similar story where it'd be like, Games Workshop would send them out a fucking letter or someone round to their, probably send a boy on a bike round to their house
Yeah.
back in the old days to knock on their door
A
and deliver a
cherub.
message and say like, hey, you've got to stop making this stuff. And then a week later, they start doing stuff. I'm pretty sure that happened with the old Forge World company, because there was, before Forge World Games Workshop Forge World, there was another company called Forge World that made Titans and stuff, confusingly. And I'm pretty sure that when we did the research, there was a thing where literally a couple of days before Forge World started, they sent out a cease and desist. So maybe this is just Games Workshop's MO. They just jump whilst the fucking iron's hot.
I mean, it is. I think a lot of what's been going on that we've been moaning about is unfair crackdown on people that are just trying to be part of a community that are selling stuff that isn't directly stealing IP and is just useful. To be fair
What
to
of
the
the
guy
plushie
from this,
makers? Surely there's people knitting nurglings and shit at home. Is Games Workshop getting a smack that come
I'm
round and
sorting that
start
out. Don't worry.
punching up grands?
I'm getting that ready for the plushie episode.
to be fair to this guy, in his video where he explained the cease and desist, he was fully aware that he was directly abusing GWIP and came out and said it in the video and said, look, we've always known this was probably going to happen to us at some point. Like, we're not idiots. This is a direct copy of a GW thing just made bigger. He was quite magnanimous about it. But you could tell also a little bit perturbed that like the community involvement or the way it was dealt with wasn't the nicest for a company that has clearly gained GW a lot of followers and a lot of love for their lore. But they are stopping everything. They even had these really cool videos. I didn't know this channel existed, but they've made a working chainsword. Like it's got moving parts in it and stuff. I mean, it doesn't cut shit down, but it looks really cool. So check out their videos if you haven't seen them before. But yeah, they knew that they were infringing on IP. I just think GW might have been a bit heavy-handed with it.
So there's been a lot of talk about whether Kill Team has fallen off. They've jumped back in with a new box, Necrons versus Death Watch or something like that. And we're looking at the Death Watch models now, right, Welshie? These look pretty cool. What does everybody think?
I think the internet seems to love the Death Watch. People are very excited. I think because they've been calling out for Death Watch for ages. Do you remember old Kill Team Cassius, one of the coolest box sets? That was like one of the first Kill Teams. And everyone was like, why isn't there a Death Watch Kill Team in Kill Team? So they've released these guys, which I'm personally a bit torn about. I like the fact that if you look at them, they've got different armor patterns. So like the heavy's got the Gravis armor. There's like a Scouty boy in there with the Phobos sneaky armor. The weapons look cool. They're definitely Death Watch, but I do think they've lost a bit of character in that. I think the old Death Watch kill team, like the Space Wolf, had a bit more Space Wolfy stuff on his armor. Like the Blood Angel they had a bit more tokens to them than just being black with a different coloured shoulder pad.
I quite like the armor difference. I remember when they had the preview about this, and I kind of looked at the models in trepidation. And I felt, I think at the time, pleasantly surprised. I thought they were, they're pretty basic Space Marines individually, but as a group, as a team, as a kill team, I think they're pretty okay.
I think they're great. If you're a Death Watch fan, you're still going to be happy with these, and you can customize them to look however you want. I think it's a good job. It's a glow up. The heavy weapons people look great. Those guns are so big and chunky. It's like Space Marine up to 11. What do you reckon, Stoney?
I don't really care. I don't really
hate
care
Space
about
Marines,
these
don't you?
guys. I don't really care about Space Marines and these guys. I don't know. They're just not really doing it for me.
So, Stoney, can I tempt your fancy then with a Necron kill team, a new Centipede boy?
Yeah, I do quite like this Centipede boy. I like him. I like his Halo thing. It's like tuning fork Halo. Yeah, I think he's quite cool. He's a bit out of focus in the picture we're looking at, which kind of makes me feel like I'm drunk, which is really strange.
That's how they affect you. This guy's called a geomancer. Apparently, like his whole thing is working the Noctilith. That's why he's kind of wrapped around one of them floating bone circle things. And they're it's like the Canoptech circle. So you know when the Tomb Worlds awaken, they use like robots to wake up all the Necrons. So these are all like the robots rather than being actual warriors. So you got the little spidery things and all these little like insectoid like robot machines. They're not actually Necrons themselves. So
Yeah,
I think this is cool. I'll be getting this 100%.
yeah, I think that's what caught my eye about this was it wasn't your your typical Necron is the guy with two fluorescent tube in a gun that looks a bit awkwardly balanced, and these guys are like insects. I love them. They're so good.
Then the last thing in the big summer reveal was this smorgasbord of new Space Marine High Command. So the chapters that haven't got anything for a while, because GW only loves Dark Angels and Ultramarines and Blood Angels, have now all got a new model. What do we think of these
Yeah.
boys?
Oh,
Yeah.
mate, this is. I've mentioned him before, probably a couple of years ago now, but my Captain Lysander lives again. The resin model that I bought before he went out of production is still in his resin blister pack. But boy, this new model is great. It's the Imperial Fist, Captain Lysander, who I thought was the commander of the Imperial Fist, but he isn't the chapter master. But for him in particular, I thought he was a great glow up of a Terminator model. But they're all spectacular.
They're all fucking wicked. This is all like everything that we talk about being wrong with like Space Marine Rangers and stuff, and them being boring and having no character and stuff. All of this stuff has, like in Spades, they've managed to put so much character into these models, like display the kind of like what they're about, like the Raven Guard guy is like, jumping around. Imperial Fist is like stood there all stalwart, ready to go with a shield. It's just, they're all fucking wicked. And I love the way that on the Raven Guard guy, they've put feathers on him. We keep saying, lead into the feather.
The
thing.
Raven,
like, no.
the Raven Guard guy, the way that the model really captures you, when you look at the model, it really captures the effect of gravity on all of those things, all of the parchment. I don't know how to describe it, but you can really see the parchment and the weight of feather pulling down by gravity. It looks so haunting. Like they've really captured an aspect of a model that they haven't for a long time.
Feel
Yeah.
about being dragged down into an emo sadness.
Yeah.
See, right, as the Raven Guard player here, right, as someone who actually does collect one of these armies as my main army, I initially, when I saw this Ethan Shan model, I thought there was too much going on. When I first saw it, I thought it's too Age of Sigmar, there's too much going on. I still think that a little bit, but I've since realised that actually all of my Raven Guard conversions are to buy Age of Sigmar Raven packs and stick wings on my models.
Man.
So they've basically, it was like, I kind of
just beaten you to it.
They've just beaten me to it. And I didn't like that. And actually,
you can cut bits off if you want, if anything. That sounds like what you want to do.
And it is funny to me, and I can't wait to eventually, if I ever go back to playing full games of 40k, play him and Shrike in the same army, just to have two jump pack double lightning claw captain models in the same army would be a lot of fun.
But this is all cool. This is all the like other Space Marine chapters that you don't get to see so much of, getting banging models all of a sudden, which is fucking cool as hell.
And that's Sabodan Khan, right? I fully predict the next Golden Demon, you will see 100 Sabodan cards posed in different ways with freehand on that massive flat panel on the front of the bike.
I was going to say that.
Good.
That bike model. Yeah. Have we, because the White Scars haven't got bike models like this in 40k, have they?
No, I don't think any of them have hover bikes.
They're the only
this is like a real
of Space Marines.
Yeah, this is like a real different model.
And they know it because he's the only one that's trapped within his combat patrol. All of the other ones are going to be released separately, but you have to buy a combat patrol to get Sabodan Khan. It's like they know he's the one everyone wants.
Yeah. So that really caught my eye when he had because that's like a Horus Heresy jet bike. Yeah, but he's in 40k.
Interesting how none of us are losing our head about the Iron Hands.
I don't even know how to follow that up. And I'm a dad. I should have dad jokes, and I can't even follow that up.
They're all great. Well done, Games Workshop. Great reimagining of some excellent characters that are all in the background lore as well. So, fab.
So the Black Library's over, right? There's no more books to read. You can feel safe in the knowledge that you've finished them all. Wrong, sucker. The next million books has just been announced. Aaron Dembski Bowden is clicking his fingers, ready to type away. Gav Thorpe is on standby in case they need someone to fill in. Everybody's ready to go.
Warming up the checkbook.
Oh, yeah. I am very, very excited by this announcement. We always wondered what it would be, and actually they've just gone for the most obvious answer, which is to just chronologically continue directly from the scene. But we talk about the Scouring loads in our proper lore episodes, and what's going on. And we often say, oh, I don't really know because there's not that much written about it. So it's a real deep seam to be explored. And this is the front cover, and it looks like the first book is just going to be an autism off between Dawn and Gilliman.
I mean, totally. I mean, we've all known what the deal is with the Horus Heresy, for decades, really. They've fleshed it out, but the period after has always been a bit vague. So actually, it's almost more innovative. It's almost more exploratory than the Horus Heresy. That they've got like free reign. They could tie it in with loads of stuff. Quite interesting.
There's almost, like we say, there's almost more, because everybody knew really what was going to, all the way through the Horus Heresy books coming out. We were always like, wouldn't it be really obvious if they just did this, and speculated about a bunch of other stuff, and then they just did the obvious
What if
thing.
it wasn't Horus that died?
Yeah, all this kind of shit, And then, and now with the Scouring, every time we try to do research, there's just like a kind of a bit that says, then the Scouring happened. And it's like, okay, well, we really don't know. I guess the end result is 40K. I don't know when all of that stuff started. When's the first book set in 40K? I wonder if that's an interesting thing. Maybe it'd be Ian Watkins' Space Marine is the chronological last book of the Scouring. Hey guys, you know what I always used to really like? White Dwarf, that magazine that used to come out, especially the editing in it. Whoa, hang on a minute. GW's had a corporate restructure.
Yeah, that's right, Stoney. This is Lyle Lowry, who's been at the helm of White Dwarf for the past 6 years or so, I think. And I read White Dwarf. We often say, it doesn't have as much fun stuff as it used to, but it's still a good magazine. I like all of the background lore and bits and bobs in it. And he's been made redundant because they've restructured and decided they don't need an editor. Yeah, that is how it's reported.
Has he actually been made redundant?
That's what he said in an article with I can't remember the website, but one of the online
White Dwarf
websites. Yeah.
So we met this guy. This guy gave us a bookmark.
Yeah.
When we were at the Warhammer Fest. This smacks as everything I've been rallying against for the last few years, and I'm increasingly worried about for the company of Games Workshop, is that they are becoming more and more like a blanket corporate identityless. I mean, I guess it's what we all worry about, but this kind of doesn't surprise me.
So it's the plan to keep White Dwarf going just without an editor. How does that work? Do they just continue a script?
They can pay somebody half the price to have not their name on it.
I don't know exactly what a managing editor is. We're not publication guys. Maybe that's like the man in charge of other editors. Who knows? But it does seem a bit odd, and it was quite revealing. He seemed to have taken it all pretty well in this interview, but there were a couple of relatively revealing bits that we've kind of talked about in regard to White Dwarf, where he said that at some point in his tenure it merged with the design studio and the rules studios, and he was kind of saying, not in so many words, that some of the things he wanted to do with the magazine he was told he wasn't allowed to because it had to fit with the models that are coming out or the rules design that's going to happen, and
he wanted to make it into more of a Reader's Wives type thing where people sent in nudie pictures of their other halves, didn't he? I remember those days. Weird crossover times.
But I thought we'd give him a shout out because we always say essentially his phrase here, which was, I would love to have done more hobby content, painting guides, kit bashing stuff, model galleries. That implies that maybe nudes. Sometimes he wasn't allowed to.
I remember.
And people posing nude with their models. So
I remember.
I don't know. Thank you, Lyle Lowry, if ever you listen to this, because I think your tenure's been good and I've enjoyed White Dwarf. And thanks for trying to seemingly keep it similar to the old ways. So good job.
In new news, apparently the new Games Workshop logo is out, and you may have seen it, you may have not. To be honest with you, you may have completely not noticed it because it's basically just Times New Roman.
Oh my god,
guys, what the fuck is going on with this? If you haven't seen this, go and Google new Games Workshop
this cannot
logo
be real
right now, because is this real? Surely not.
This has got real. Where did you get this from? This isn't real.
It's been going around on Facebook and stuff all day.
No, this isn't real. 100% this is not real. There's no way. No, that's not real.
We interrupt this normal news story with a breaking news flash. It turns out it was real, and Games Workshop have indeed changed their logo to the lamest piece of corporate shit you could possibly imagine. In fact, it's so basic it's actually hard to imagine. It's way lamer than you are imagining it right now if you haven't seen it yet. This is LBP News, signing out. Rolling in my 6-4.
The internet is awash with crime. All over YouTube, creative fans lovingly make videos about their favourite hobby, Warhammer. But Games Workshop will stand for it no more! Using a team of professional lawyers, they will crush the evil fans with their checkbook of justice. And with Games Workshop dungeons brimming to capacity with freshly enslaved content creators, it looks to expand to a bigger facility and fill up that one too. But with who?
So there's some right naughty bastards in the 40k universe, as we all know. But the long arm of justice isn't scared of no double-R bastard. So we need to work out who's going into the Clencaroony here in the 40k universe. Who, if we were going to imprison somebody in one of the Supermax 40k prisons, who would it be? You know, we did a episode ages ago about Law and Order in 40k, and one of the things, but they had this thing about like a super secret mega dungeon that was like underneath the Palace of Terror.
Kangba Mawu, also known as the Vault, was a large underground maximum security imperial prison complex on Terra intended to hold the worst criminals of the Imperium of Man.
This is the mega supermax dungeon that we're sending everybody to.
Yeah, okay.
I really do. I like the idea of penal colony worlds where they just
you
send...
mean like a demon planet full of dicks?
That's what it will turn into, but it begins as a loyal penal colony for the Imperium.
Well, there is a big one, isn't
descends
there?
into that.
There is a big penal world that's the Savlar Chem Dogs.
Oh yeah,
the Savlar Chem Dogs.
Yeah,
so that's a planet
Imperial
that was
Guard.
a mining colony which got destroyed, and then they just started filling it with penal people. But it's so toxic to live there that when the Imperium tries to recruit penal legions, they're just like, "Yep, I'll come," just to get away from like the toxic fumes of the planet they live on. So they're supposed to be real badasses, the Savlar Chem Dogs.
Yeah.
There's other penal legions, but I think we spoke about before, isn't there, as well? Like, these guys aren't going to be in our Supermax prison, though, because they're just, like, normal humans.
No,
I think,
maybe...
Chances,
the last chances. Maybe we establish that, as, at the beginning. That these are not your typical prisoners. They're not your mass... I mean, how do you end up... I don't even know how you end up in a penal colony in the Imperium without being declared a traitor.
Well, there were a couple,
you're treading a fine line between.
There were a couple that I found when I was looking at this, called Makwand Volker and Uli Leaphold, and they were part of this like '90s White Dwarf comic strip. And they were like space pirates. I think they had models.
Okay.
And they were straight rips of two characters that used to plague the Empire in Old World.
Okay.
And they were part of a penal legion called the Expendables. I wonder whether that came before Stallone's Expendables. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
okay,
no,
so
these aren't penal legions. We need to think bigger.
It's a classic Statham thing to do, isn't it? To steal ideas from Warhammer and the such.
Yeah. I know, if only there were some really litigious companies out there going after GW for stealing all these ideas.
He's wily, Statham. He'd make them just difficult enough. The Transporter, that was originally written about a rhino, him driving a rhino tank around. The dedicated transporter, it was called.
The Mechanic.
Initially.
the Adeptus mechanic, Cunts.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, exactly.
The beekeeper would have been the hive master. Go on for ages. I love Statham. A working man. That could have been anyone. That's the latest,
That
latest Statham film.
that works at any time.
it's really odd to talk about the Imperium as like an entity that would not absolutely massacre someone for breaking the law and instead take them to prison. It's like
Well,
they haven't.
Well, maybe that's
how
a good
can
point.
you not
Maybe
be
these
so?
are people we need to learn something from. Maybe this is an interrogation, a Guantanamo style situation.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, all of the High Lords of Terror are going to be corrupt.
You think corruption?
I don't think so. Not my
don't
beautiful
think so.
terror.
You don't think they're corrupt?
Not the
Absolutely.
terror I know.
I also don't think they need to be human. I think we can throw that out there.
I think we
Okay.
should arrest old One Eye.
Okay, get him in there.
Let's
Lock him
arrest
up.
that big fucker.
On what charge? Murder, I suppose.
Bigamy.
Mass murder.
I've seen he's got loads of his models around. There's not just one of him. There's loads of him. He's all over the place. He's not just let's get him in.
Straight in there. Well, let's put the big baddie out then, because let's put Abaddon in there. Surely.
He's kind of like a war criminal though, Abaddon,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah, you can't.
Do you know
No,
what I
that
mean?
you can't put. You look. Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean. Like, we can't say that we'd put Abaddon in prison. It's just
That's kind of the whole purpose of this episode.
yeah, but there's other like Farsight. Okay, okay. So my point would be, I think personally that Abaddon would be, if he was captured by the Imperium, he would be killed immediately. He would be put down with no questions asked.
Yeah, the
if-
judicial system need not apply to Abaddon.
But if they caught Farsight of the Tau Empire, he is a character. He's a character I can imagine the Imperium imprisoning and chaining up and being whipped and
You think one
things being
southern
put
lawyer
into
would
his
come in and
orifice.
be like, "Sir, I do believe."
How do you
he
waterboard
needs
a Tau?
He needs a fair trial, like any Terran-born.
Yeah,
He is clearly a camel,
and human representative.
He may be a cross between a camel and a fish, but a camel and a fish is still the beasts of Earth, sir.
Yeah.
And he deserves a fair trial as a result.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I see Farsight. We might eventually learn what's going on with those stinky ethereals, I suppose.
There's Xenos are bad, but they're not as bad as Traitor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see that, maybe Abaddon, he's used up all his chances kind of thing,
Yeah.
They're not accepting his
You've been given
calls no
10,000
more,
years of
all
chances.
that, exactly. Yeah. How many? The 13th Black Crusade. Well, that's really the last straw.
That's fair. I tried to look for some more obscure ones because I knew what would happen is we'd start talking about how OP Erebus is and how OP Abaddon is and how all these people aren't going to end up in prison. So I tried to find a couple of like lower level ones that maybe we haven't discussed before. And I found this character called Legian Strasse, which may well mean something in German. But they were the only, I think, assassin made by an heretical offshoot of the Officio Assassinorum called the Mayorus Temple. And this was an assassin who their whole thing is that weapons are unreliable. You must be able to kill with just your body, and you must be able to kill multiple people. So the way they equipped them was make them biologically able to suck up the things that they killed, consume their biological matter, and mutate themselves into a living weapon to do their next kill. Almost like The Thing. This is like an assassin that is basically like the monster from The Thing, sucking up biomass. And they also used Xenos female DNA. So at one point, this assassin shat out a load of eggs that devoured an entire Imperial Guard Legion in 1 week. This is some old 40k lore. But I thought that, maybe if they found this woman, she could be ripe for the old prison. They probably want to study her.
Lock her up. Although, to be fair, maybe just burn her. Because, The Thing, that because it can turn into like whatever. You'll be like, "What's that, Larry? I'm just going in to give the thing its dinner." It goes in, you hear it's like, "Oh God!" And then it comes out, be like, "Oh, Larry, what was going on in there?" Be like, "No, everything is fine. Do not concern yourselves with the thing. The thing is fine." And then before you know it, the thing's back out. And if the thing can disguise itself, then before you know it, the thing's on the Iron Throne.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it would be. I've kind of forgot to mention that the original thing might be a little bit confused with the babies that were made from the thing, because your favorite, Matt, Captain Lysander, supposedly killed the mother of the thing babies things.
Oh.
Lysander's the thing.
Lysander's the thing. Lock him up. Get Lysander.
It's the lineal thing timeline. Lysander's the thing.
Lysander said that he witnessed one of them take down an Emperor's Champion, a Vindicare Grandmaster, and an Eversaw, and the only way he could kill her was to pin the dying Eversaw to her, because apparently, I didn't know this, when Eversaws die, the stimulants in their bloodstream mix and they explode in like a kind of thermonuclear explosion.
Cool.
So, yeah, that was his way of dealing with that. So, whether it's her, whether it's one of the babies, if we're finding some thing monster, it's going in prison.
I think no. I reckon just burn it straight away. It doesn't go in prison. The thing's cell remains empty as far as I'm concerned. If I'm coming out there, judge, jury, and executioner, I say we burn these thing ones. I can't be doing with that. I can't be doing with clones and things. I don't want to come into a room and there's two of Matt or two of Welshie looking at each other, being like, "He's the real thing. No, I'm the real thing." Well, actually, that would make it easy if one of them said that. To be fair, but I don't want to. I can't be dealing with things.
Get up off of that thing!
If I was thinking of a group of people who would be not extreme enough to be immediately wiped out, then I reckon people that have been lost in the warp. So for generations, they ply the stars, but they leave their homeworld, and then by the time they get to where they're going, whoever they were on a pilgrimage to, the saint, has become tainted and has been wiped off the sainthood by the Inquisition, So they're like innocent people who've spent generations on a pilgrimage, but they get there and they find out that their idol is like no longer a saint, and the Inquisition are like, you're all going to prison immediately. Good sisters, there must be repentia that end up in like prison. What if repentia
like repentia, or the people that are strapped to the guys that are strapped to the pain engines for the sisters?
Yeah.
Surely, like if maybe your pain engine breaks down and they're like, "Oh shit, we haven't got another pain engine for you. You're going in prison."
Yeah, I reckon every time you're clocking off work on a Sisters of Battle planet, you're going into some sort of like dungeon or pain wheel or Catherine Spike or whatever, something that just like some sort of repentia. There's probably about, you get, by the time you've finished all your repentions and work and stuff, there's probably about 3 days of the year where you're like, "Oh God, I'm fine. Oh, I just thought about tits. Got to get back on the pain wheel."
I was just thinking, like, from the interrogation point of view, would Cypher be a good person to be locking up and interrogating?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. We need to work out what's going on with him.
He really is the ultimate.
For 35 years of law.
He really is the ultimate kind of on-the-run criminal, I guess, because everybody wants to, get their hands on him. He's got all kinds of forbidden knowledge.
Absolutely. So he's definitely going in then, is he?
He's got to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The one person that you should put in a prison and you shouldn't kill?
Tell me.
Lucius Eternal. He is somebody you have to put in maximum security Inquisition prison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the best place for him. We've got to imprison him in concrete or something like.
Yeah, because you can't put a guard on
him. He needs a sign on his cell door that says, "As much as he begs you, do not kill this man."
Yeah.
If you kill this man, you will die. Do not kill this man.
But if we imprison him in concrete or something, then it doesn't. Then even if that person kills him, then they'll just become a part of his armor and be imprisoned.
But what if? Yeah, but what if you drown him in? If if you put him in concrete and he drowns in concrete, then you kill him in concrete.
Oh, you've got shit. So you say, at
Yeah,
what point do
can't
you
kill
become
him.
responsible for his death?
His
I see what
cell-
you're saying. We've got to like
his
suspend him
cell,
on
'cause it's
bungee
not-
cords from the ceiling or something.
I think
To get
it's
the
covered in
Lucius
bubble wrap.
law- To get
Got
the
bubble
Lucius
wrap in.
law right is not just killing him. You have to kill him and show pride.
You have to best.
You
Is
have
it
to
best
best
him in combat.
No,
as well?
it's you just have to be proud of the fact that you killed him.
Oh, right.
And that's how he
Shit.
gets you. So what we need to do is fill him with like a room of people that love him. That can kill him over and over again and will feel bad about it.
But then that's like, I feel like that's a worse prison for the people that have to kill the person
No,
they love over
no,
and
no,
over
no.
again.
I've just,
Yeah, I suppose
I've just
so.
worked it out. Basically, what you do is you find one of those warp ships that's been lost in the warp, those pilgrim ships. You convince them that the saint they're on a pilgrimage to, the ones that have been banished by the Inquisition, are actually following Lucius, and you just chuck them all in a cell and you see what happens.
What we need is just a prison where no one goes into the cell. I know it's revolutionary.
I mean, we
I don't know.
I was just sort of thinking, like we did the Eldar episode, and there's what was that about? Ulthway. What was the guy called?
Eldrad.
Eldrad. He is someone that you can imagine the Imperium would not want to kill. They'd imprison.
He'd have one
Probably
of,
on-
I imagine he'd have one of those like Hannibal Lecter style cells where it's got all like he's doing a painting, he's got all like classical music playing and stuff.
I was going to say, in like favourable terms, he would be imprisoned. Maybe he wouldn't actually be imprisoned, but other Eldar characters would be imprisoned. I can't imagine that the Imperium.
There's
would
definitely some
kill
Dark
them.
Eldar ones. I found one that had a model in the olden days who I don't think we've ever talked about before, but there is an Archon called Cruelag Davil,
Oh dear.
also known as the Mistress of Skulls, the Emasculator, and Daskina by the Orcs. And she has spikes in her hand. When she fights people, she spikes them and sucks out all of their juices to power her up. Is she nasty enough for the prison, or did she just go there for having such a terrible name?
I think both
I
things.
think based on the name.
But she should be arrested and brought in for copyright infringement.
I think we should throw Helmar in there.
Who's
He's been
that?
doing
I
a
was
shit
thinking
job
that.
of Necromunda for years. He's had
Okay,
forever to
yeah.
sort it out.
I
Yeah.
was thinking that. All the entire Helmar family.
The entire
I
Helmar
think.
family, fresh start.
So he's just so he's not necessarily a traitor. He's just a rubbish governor.
Yeah, you suck at governing. You've
Yeah.
tried. You've paid your tithes fair, but you've done a rubbish job. It's
You're
been
like
an
that
endless
guy who
pain
used
in
to be the
arse.
governor of Toronto or whatever that smoked a bunch of crack.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never smoked crack before, and then the video of him smoking crack.
Yeah, just being like, I love smoking crack.
Oh my god. The I think that's a good shout. Like so governors that are just really bad but aren't actually full on traitor are prime candidates to go to high security prison. But he's still in power in Necromunda.
But not anymore. He's not. We've thrown him in prison.
Okay.
It can be Lady
we've solved
Credo.
that problem.
She's got a cool model.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just it. It's like really, like we were saying before, on the Space Marine level, everybody's kind of responsible for some sort of crime to a certain degree. But like in like Necromunda and stuff, that's more your classic crimes, isn't it? Like maybe there's a scallywag who's running around, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, stealing loaves of bread or something. Should we pull them in?
No, we'd fill up. This is high level.
You're
We
right.
spent a lot of money
Yeah,
on this prison.
they
Can't
go-
be focusing on these.
They go to the
no,
penal
petty
legion.
crimes.
Yeah, they're straight off to the Savlar Chem Dogs.
Exactly. We chop off
Yeah.
their knobs to send them off to Savalon Chem region.
Yeah, and then we force feed them their knobs because they're in the ration pack.
Penal colonies, baby.
The Savaloy.
Oh, I
the
recognise this
Savaloy
foreskin.
Chem Dogs.
Freeze punks! I'm Robo-Bastard 2000 and you and controversial Robo-Officer and I'm arresting you for making some dumb podcast about dicks or something. This is supposed to be about the sacred game of Warhammer. You boys are going to jail. Kamabu Maru, the deepest pit the Emperor has to offer. And don't even think about trying to escape for a series of increasingly incomprehensible rambling that cannot be broadcast, because that would just not be acceptable.
Should we have a prison breakout? Prison breakout.
When did we end up in this prison?
Don't go trying to convolute escape plan bullshit, yeah.
We've always been in the prison. What? Who's in here with us?
Old One-Eye, Farsight, Cypher, Repentia Sue, Lucius, Mrs. Pilgrim, Cruella de Vil, Rackart, and the whole Helmar family.
Should we have a prison breakout? Prison breakout.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
The slop they're serving here is really quite delicious.
It's my favourite type of pork stuff.
You can really taste the penises in it.
They're getting stuck in my teeth.
They've fried it up like calamari, haven't they? The foreskins. Foreskin Friday, they call it here at the prison.
Farsight in here with us.
Maybe we could be like Iron Man, where we build him his own suit of armour.
We need Rackart to maybe take some of these foreskin corpse starch and make some puppet versions of our bodies.
People are always saying to me, Stoney, your face looks like reconstituted meat and foreskins put together.
Should we have a prison breakout? Prison breakout. Cypher is someone we need to tap into. Prison breakout.
Oi, no talking to Cypher.
This is my plan.
It involves foreskins, fucking Xenos,
Yeah.
building a cutlery-based battle.
You're a fucking idiot.
I've got a good mind to throw you pricks in the hole for insubordination. I can't believe
Should we have a prison breakout? Prison breakout. We're going to be the foreskin on Old One-Eye.
That's a definite. That is locked in at this point.
Right.
Alright, LBP, your sentence is served and you're free to go. I hope you've learned your lesson. I hope now maybe you'll take Warhammer a bit more seriously and stop talking about knobs and foreskins and that. Now get out of here before I change my mind.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this, the last part of the show, the most exciting quiz around, the Lords of Lore quiz. And this week we're doing, by popular demand, whose foreskin is bigger? So, which 40k character has a bigger foreskin? I'm going to give you guys a choice of two. You need to tell me which one you think has the biggest foreskin. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do we get points on our explanations?
I want to know about the explanations as well. Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
that can make a big difference. First one is Eldrad Ulfrain, and his foreskin is up against Perturabo.
It's a tough one because when you said Eldrad,
A couple of tough foreskins. I get it. Yeah,
he's an old boy.
tough, ropey, old, leathery foreskins.
Dangly, leathery foreskin. But then you threw in someone who's the same age.
Mm.
I'm gonna go with Peter Turbo because two reasons. One, I think the Eldar are all circumcised at birth. They like a nice, clean, sleek appeal. They're not into dangly foreskins. They like a nice, smooth look to their shafts. Whereas Peter Turbo has got it attached to some kind of mechanical catheter thing, some kind of piss tube.
Yeah, I can't help but agree that Perturabo is the man in this circumstance. I would add a different reason though. I would suggest that he's just got a big foreskin piercing, and it's just been weighing down for all of those,
like with
all that
bionic
time.
weapons or something in it.
Well,
Yeah.
Matt, I'm going to have to give you the point because the correct answer is he's got a big old Prince Albert.
Okay.
Who has the bigger foreskin? Is it Erebus
Oh, my
or Fabius Bile?
Another hard one. Two old boys.
Erebus or Fabius Bile? My internet just went down then. So Erebus or Fabius Bile? Well, you offered your first response, so I'll offer a first response. Erebus. You say biggest foreskin, yeah?
That's right.
All right. Erebus, you could almost say maybe because he's just putting it all over books, like spines.
All over
like
book spines.
What's the biggest book spine I can put my yeah? What's the biggest book spine I can put my leathery foreskin over?
He uses it like a bookmark, doesn't he? He just puts it in there when he goes to bed.
So you're saying Erebus for bookmark usage?
I think I might have to actually. Yeah.
It's a strong choice. I'll go with the opposite. Actually, I think Erebus very religious. 2 of the 3 major religions are well into circumcision, so maybe the word bearers are into it too. So I don't think Erebus is likely to have one. And also, maybe Fabius Bile's Rod of Torment is something very different to what we've all thought. So, yeah, Bile's Rod of Torment, I'm going to say.
Okay, well, yeah, Welshie, you get the point. It is Fabius Bile, and the reasoning is because he's got like a kind of he does so much experimentation on himself. He can stretch. He's got like a Mr. Fantastic foreskin where it can stretch into all kinds of crazy shapes. It can, he can use it to store loose change. He could use it to store Pez, like a Pez dispenser, pop them out. All kinds of things. You could do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Maybe his flesh cloak. Maybe he grows his own flesh cloaks.
Well, exactly. I mean, what is a flesh cloak?
Cuts it off momentarily.
Grows it back.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, on with this this Lords of Lore quiz, best quiz around. So Gazgal Fraker or Cabanda?
Well, Khorne cares not from where the blood flows. I don't know whether that's got anything to do with foreskins. I like to think that maybe Cabanda's got quite a big one, because Khorne loves it when people like snap their frenulum, because that creates a lot of blood, doesn't it?
No,
intercourse frenulum snapping.
But I don't think that I guess he cares not for where the blood flows, so he likes that. But I think he wants it to be more. I mean, it'd have to be during some kind of like angry, horrible sex, though. It'd be
which he's totally into as well.
Yeah,
maybe.
But would he even care? I mean, I kind of feel like Khorne just doesn't even care about sex. It's like too close to being nice. It would have to be like whatever it was would have to be just like kind of relentless
fucking a skull fucking. Still gonna go with Cabanda simply because I think when it comes to the orcs, because they're so machismo, in a kind of like ancient Greek statue way, I reckon they've all got tiny little mushroom dicks. And actually, it's quite good to have a small dick in the orc society.
Do you think maybe that about Cabanda though? Because Cabanda's got some pretty small dick energy.
I don't think demons have anything there.
It's a tough one. This you really stumped us on this last Lords of Lore. So.
Funny, I reckon
maybe because I reckon Cabanda could be rocking a cloaca or something, a bit like Matt's saying. He's got like a kind of just a demon piss shoot.
When I say cloaca, you say whacker.
He just pisses blood.
So based on that, I would say Gazgal.
I've got one final against Gazgal. Could you go to the toilet with that big claw on? There's got to be some issues there.
He's losing a little bit every time he's going to the box. But it's his other arm, a gun.
He's got a gun on his
but he can put a gun down.
No, I don't think so.
He's got Macarai.
Taking that off.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got
Macarai holds it.
Tony, you've sold me.
Yeah, Macarai holds it.
One of those 500-pound life guys or whatever. Got to have someone to wipe their ass.
That's why he's got Macarai there. Macarai's there to pull the foreskin back to go to the pee.
Yeah.
It's like a fire hose. Macarai's got to roll it out.
Exactly. It's like have you ever seen a man carrying a carpet over, like from their shoulder? It's a bit like that. Well, anyway, thanks for listening, everybody, to the Large Blast podcast. Thanks for joining us for that excellent Lords of Lore quiz and this amazing episode. We shall speak to you all again very soon.
I've never said foreskin so many times.
Say goodbye, everybody.
They're like, what do you get in the pub? The pork scratching snacks, yeah, but a pack of fried
Tyranid foreskins.